Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I just wanted to do a quick video. We're still working on having our kitchen done, and we're going out of town for a little trip, or some of us are anyway. Anyhow, I wanted to squeeze in this video and have it ready to be published when we're gone. So this past week I did the Waterman Serenity Blue, and I had it in my Kaweco Brass Sport, and my TWSBI Eco, and my Lamy, which is, I just washed it out so it's drying. So I picked out 3 broad nib pens to compare the ink, and then I realized later as I was writing with this TWSBI that this is my medium, my only medium nib, TWSBI. I have a 1.1 stub nib, but the rest are broad, so I forgot that. So a couple days in, I switched to, well, I didn't switch, but I added ink to my TWSBI broad. So I was just comparing 3 different broad nib pens with the same with the same ink. All right, if I could learn to talk, it would help. So when I first wrote this, and I may have covered this in the video, but last week, all 3 of these went on super smooth. It was a very wet flow, very smooth, and the TWSBI Eco, the broad nib, on the Cosmo paper was absolutely amazing. Really, that was such a good fit. Let me grab that. I should have it right behind me, and I'll see if I can find where I was writing on here. This is kind of turning into quite a mess. I need to reorganize my notebook a little bit, but so here I wrote with, see, it was still wet, the Lamy, the TWSBI here, and the Kaweco here, and all of them were super good writing experiences. I think that I'm liking, just had a quick pause there, and talking, my husband came in to talk about something. Anyway, I think I was talking about how it worked on the Cosmo, which really was a very good, awesome, smooth experience. I've always called this sort of draggy. I mentioned this before. Some people call it more matte, and I think that's good, but they seem to have a negative connotation when you say that. But for me, writing on the Cosmo paper is like, I think it helps control the pen. The pen doesn't slip around as much as it does on the TWSBI Eco. Number 2. Let's keep going. Okay, this paper grips the pen. I feel like that's a good way of saying that. And for me, it makes my writing a little more steady. I don't know if that makes sense. So I was kind of evaluating the ink earlier today, and I was writing with my TWSBI, the broad nib, and I just felt like it was just sliding all over, kind of. That's an exaggeration, but it was more slippery on the Tomoe River paper, where compared to the Cosmo, which just kind of seems to grab it a little bit more, whichever nib I'm using. But I usually choose a broad nib, so the broad nibs and this paper are really, really nice. So here you can tell it's just kind of, well, it's like all over the place, where this writing is a lot more controlled, a little tidier looking, I feel like. This looks like my elementary school. I'm learning cursive writing, and this looks like I've been writing for decades. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, that's just kind of how I've been figuring out how to tweak this in my own mind, or analyze it. This helps the pen not slip so much. So my impressions, again, all three were smooth. The color on the Cosmo, I thought this was really beautiful. I would not call this blue though. To me, this just looks more purple. Let's see. Okay, so do I like it? Would I buy it? Yes, I like it. I have a sample of it, and what I would like to do, this Waterman Serenity Blue color, good still to me, it looks like purple, but is there another color of Waterman ink that would have the same qualities but maybe be a different color? I'm still looking for the perfect green. I have a few that I like, but depending on what pen I put them in, what paper I use, sometimes they feel kind of dry to me. So I'd like to find something wet and flowy like this Waterman Serenity Blue, but maybe there's a Waterman green something. If you know about that, please comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. So would I buy this? Yes, but maybe I would consider another color. I really liked writing with this. I think it would be fun to write a letter with it. I've been working on my little story, and I wrote like for a couple hours the other day using my TWSBI, and it worked fine that whole time. The only thing is, even the TWSBI seemed to start running just a little bit dry, and I'm wondering if I've accumulated a little bit of paper fibers or something on the end. I'll have to kind of check out that nib later and see, but it worked well for a long writing session. Let's see, I did mention here that when I was writing this last little comment section earlier today that I'm standing up, so I can't write as neat when I'm standing as when I'm sitting down. So that might be part of why even in the broad it was feeling a little wacko. When I sit and write, of course, it's better. And I've just added a few comments for next week's ink. I won't have time to do it this weekend, so I went ahead and inked up, let me find it, my green TWSBI, the transparent green, and this has the a broad nib in it, and it is filled with Monteverde, I think that's right, yes, Jade Noir. I used this before on the green inks for March, and I really, really liked it. So I'm going to switch over to this and focus on using this primarily this week, at least for my scripture writing and my gratitude journal. I kind of get those mixed up. I accidentally write in the wrong one sometimes, but I'm going to focus on that green for that kind of writing, but I may, when I write my story, is just use up the ink that's in here, and I think that's the only one I have inked up still in the Serenity Blue. Oh no, these two have a little bit of that. So I will finish these up and then continue on with that. A little tip that I found, if you're doing some kind of writing project that you want to go back and edit or comment on, if you write with a bigger, larger nib, you can go back and make your little editorial notes with a really fine nib. So this is the Pilot Petite. Mentioned it before. It's a fine nib. That's the way it came. I didn't want the fine nib. I thought I was getting something different, but ended up that's what I ordered. I just misread the little blurb on it. But this has been a super great pen. It's so funny because it's so cheap. But like say here, my son wrote this. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Well, he wrote this part. I wrote the rest. So say I wanted to say the quick brown cat jumps over the lazy moose, you know. So this is a fine enough nib that can kind of be used as a little editorial thing. That's how I've been using it. And it stands out then from the colored inks that I'm using for my little story. So that's been a real good tool. I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying that. And I have been generally using this. I got some powder on there the other day and Haven't wiped it off, so I will probably carry these two in there and that one, and well, and the green one, because this just holds 4, wherever it is. Here we go. We'll just have those in here for now. This is the Lockbee pencil case, and I really liked it. Slide on nicely. The outer one a little bit more snug, especially this one. But see, it works really good. It holds them nice and secure, and then you just have a few pens that you're liking using all together. I have noticed, and maybe you're the same way, that I just get bored with the same color. So having 3 pens with the Serenity Blue was fun to compare, but then I'm like, all I'm seeing is this purplish blue, and I'm like, oh, I want to switch out. So that's why I decided to just do a random reuse of a sample. I do like the wetness and flow of the Monteverde Jade Noir ink, so I'm going to enjoy that for this week and just, again, try that out on different papers. This Serenity Blue worked really well on all the papers. On my little notes here, I just wrote the TWSBI Eco Blue now has Waterman Serenity Blue, and I was saying that I loved it on the Cosmo. So little notes to myself. Liked it on all the paper, but I'm just finding, boy, that Cosmo paper is super good. I'm trying a new one. It's called Splendor Gel. A new viewer or commenter, Karen, suggested I try that, and I placed an order, and I can't wait to give that a try and do a little review on the Splendor Gel from Good Impressions on Etsy. So that's all for now. I've rambled enough about one ink, but I hope that is interesting to you, or maybe it helps you decide if that's an ink you were considering buying, or if you're looking at any of the papers. I say, for me, the style I like, that the Waterman Serenity Blue works really well on just about all the papers I tried. Leuchtturm, the regular, the Amazon Traveler's Notebook. I did want to mention that. I wrote here with it, and it gave some feedback. It moves nicely across the page in the TWSBI Eco Blue, and even with the medium, it actually, I felt like it just went even better. I guess there's not as much surface area to drag or something. So it was pleasant. So we're with the Lamy on the same paper, and the Kaweco Brass Sport on this. These two felt, the first 3 actually, the 2 TWSBIs and the Lamy did well, and then the Kaweco, it felt, it was like a nice glide to it. It was smooth. There wasn't much feedback or a scratchy sensation, but I felt like it was like a workout. Like that pen and this paper just made it feel like, oh, my hand is getting worn out. So that was not my favorite combination. And then the other thing is just that it doesn't do a whole lot for the color. So again, this is just the Amazon 3-pack of Traveler's Notebooks. I don't know how else to describe it. It wasn't bad, but it was comparable to writing with a gel pen or something, and it was not an experience that I'd say, oh my gosh, you have to try this, it's wonderful. It was just like, okay, that's very pleasant, but nothing I would be so eager to try again. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. I just forgot to mention that page. We will see you again soon. Our kitchen is still being worked on. There was a couple little delays because of the rain and transporting some drywall, so we're looking for early next week for it to be done, except for putting down the countertops. So I will do a catch-up video on that, and as you can see, I've been playing with my pens this afternoon and washing my hands in the bathroom because the kitchen sink is out of commission. So I joked with Donna from South Shore Paper, if you get ink on your hands and you can't get it off, pick up a piece of baked chicken and the ink will come off on your chicken. Try it. It works. So I might need to get out some chicken here and clean up my nails. Anyway, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.